Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
There's the dogs again. Hey, thanks Poppy and Sybil Bergeron. Well, guess what, everybody? The stuff that I've been telling you guys for months, and Fig Sauls, you know, he's the one that told me about this earlier this year, was the remember that white van? Put a 1 if you remember telling you guys about the white van. And in fact, telling you about the white van yesterday. You remember that? Alright, well, here we go. That's going to be the information that only the killer would know. I mean, we've this is where you want to be, you guys, if you want to get sort of the inside stuff, you know, and know the case. Alright, so here we go. Let's turn off that thing.
Day 10.
Turn down this audio here. All right, here we go. Let me switch over to a different screen. All right, so this is WTHR State's 37th witness, Dr. Monica Walla, lead psychologist at Westfield Correctional Facility in 2022 and 2023. The state called Dr. Monica Walla, a contracted psychologist who served as the lead psychologist at Westfield Correctional Facility in 2022 and 2023, and its 37th witness. Walla had Richard Allen as a patient while he was in the facility. Alright, so make sure to go out and share, you guys. This is huge stuff. She told jurors she assumed she would be Allen's psychologist based on the high-profile nature of the case. Wallace said she put her notes into an electronic record system. She said she met with Allen and at a pod cubicle where he was unshackled once inside. Wallace said most times she put her notes from her session with Allen into the computer on the same day as the session. Jurors received a copy of Wallace's notes about her sessions with Allen. Walla began seeing Allen daily in November of 2022, so that's just like a month after he was arrested. Her notes showed Allen was on, I'll say the same word, the S watch, okay? He was on, taking his own life watch with, I mean, I didn't realize how it just absolutely is the truth. If you say one of these words, they just go, pow! I mean, that's so lame. I mean, how come on TV you can say that and there's still ads on there? YouTube, lighten up a little bit, okay? Oh, really? My podcast was mentioned by the psychologist? Well, I guess she watched some of those. Oh, well, cool. Doesn't that mean something? Yeah, that means I actually know what the hell I'm talking about. All right, anyways, it says, let's see. She said she met with Allen at a cubicle where he was unshackled once inside. Wallace said most times she put her notes from her sessions with Allen into the computer on the same day as the sessions. Jurors received a copy of Wallace's notes. Okay, we already went over that. He was placed back into S-Watch about April 4th, 2023, according to Wallace's notes. According to Wallace's notes, Allen was not on constant watch, which was reserved for inmates who pose as imminent harm. He was placed back on watch in April 2023 after things had taken a turn, according to Wallace's notes. So that's April of 2023. Wallace said she remembered telling Allen not to discuss his case with other people. When asked by prosecuting attorney Stacy Diener if she found Allen to be an intelligent person, Wallace said yes. Really? Diener asked Wallace if Allen understood the danger of discussing, it says understand, but it should be understood the danger of discussing his case with others. Wallace said it depends on the time frame. Thanks, CR. Wallace said Allen discussed his case with her in a session April 5th, 2023. Wallace testified that during that session, Allen said, "I killed Abby and Libby. I'm sorry." Allen then became tearful, said he committed the murders alone, and said his intentions were sexual in nature. Allen said Wallace testified. Allen said, and then Wallace testified that he thought the girls were 18 or 19, but could be as young as 11. Wallace said Allen talked about being a selfish coward all his life and wishing he could go back and change his actions. Wallace and Allen admitted to having a... Wallace said Allen admitted to having a sexual... I think it must mean addiction. They typed this really fast. And being an alcoholic. She said Allen told her he took God into his heart in March. You get this, everybody? I've been telling you guys this the whole time. In March of 2023, and said he hoped he could give his Bible to the family of Abby and Libby. He wished he could go back and change his actions and apologize to the families, Wallace said. Wallace said Allen hoped his family would forgive him. Does this sound like a false confession to anybody? Seriously, anybody in there? Put one if you really believe that sounds like one. Wallace said Allen hoped his family would forgive him and that he told her he was happier than he'd ever been in such a terrible place. Grateful for the outside view from the top of his cell window. Allen said he slept with his Bible. Wallace testified he expressed concern over Wallace's own faith. He expressed concern over Wallace's own faith. And by the way, guys, if you're out here, if you're not a channel member, maybe consider becoming a channel member. If you can help support the channel, put a comment in the super chats. We can discuss that. I'm not sure why you're not a member anymore there, Juniper, Tarot, and Astrology. But anyways, this is incredible shit right here, you guys. I mean, this is amazing, right? Allen said he slept with his Bible. Wallace testified, and he expressed concern over Wallace's own faith. Wallace wrote in her notes of Allen, at times he was calm, and at times he showed almost a bizarre smile, according to her notes. Allen said he found God on March 21st, 2023, and he showed signs of potential feigning. When asked about no running water, I'm not sure if what they're saying there. Hey, thanks, Spring 20 gifted 5 memberships. Welcome, Ashley, Ryan, C. Sugar Bear, Aaron Murdoch, and Andrew Taylor. And thank you, Tammy, up there. And H. Doc gifted one to Cyber Sleuth Steph. All right. I don't know, man. Sometimes the writing in here, it's like, let's see. Yeah, I thought that was like faking something. Allen said he slept with the Bible. She wrote, at times he was calm, and at times he showed almost a bizarre smile, according to her notes. Who's messaging me? According to her notes, Alan said he found God in March of 21st, 2023, and he showed signs of potential fainting. When asked about no running water, Alan said it didn't matter, as he was drinking water out of the toilet. Yeah, so there's this kind of stuff is, other times he's saying these. When asked by a prosecutor if Alan's behavior was manipulative, Wallace said possibly. Wallace said Alan couldn't recall if it was his first confession. Wallace said Alan couldn't recall if it was his first confession, but did know he had made incriminating statements to companions on, when he was on watch. Wallace said she did not note anything unusual about Alan's physical appearance, but noted his intense eye contact, staring and gazing, which she said at times was normal for him. As for Alan's mental status, welcome, Coco Banks. As for Alan's mental status, Wallace said his emotions were up and down, and he would sometimes go off on a tangent and return. Other times he wouldn't return. Wallace said Alan explained his confession and murder information in a concise manner and in chronological manner. It appeared that at times, Wallace said, his anxiety and depression was improved. During Wallace's testimony Wednesday, jurors were watching Alan, who stared upwards or down at the table much of the time. At times he looked at Walla. The prosecuting attorney then turned to Walla's May 2nd, 2023 meeting with Alan. Wallace said during that meeting, Alan said, I killed Abby and Libby. I will kill everyone. He mentioned starting, here we go with some crazy shit. World War III, Wallace said, and asked, is it okay to take my own life? He stated he did not want to die, Wallace said of Alan. He also said during that meeting, I killed myself and my family and best friend, probably meaning like he's kind of destroyed their lives. And I'm not going to kill myself. I'm too much of a coward. Like he's ruined their lives, so he's not going to take his. Wallace said Alan told her he ate his feces because he was sane and didn't have water. When he was told that didn't make sense, Alan said, I know, Wallace testified. Wallace said Alan had difficulty staying on topic in the meeting and said he wasn't clear on expectations for his behavior other than taking his medication. Does not present as a psychotic, Wallace said of Alan during that meeting. According to Wallace, Alan said both he would and would not killed himself. Alan said he would and would not killed himself. That's not correct English. His tablet was broken at times, and the warden suggested getting him a TV. When asked if Alan was cooperative in the session, Wallace said for the most part, Wallace's diagnosis from the May 3rd meeting was a brief psychotic disorder with disorganized speech and behavior, but not delusional or catatonic behavior. When asked about the May 3rd meeting with Alan, Wallace said he gave a narrative of the crime during that meeting. And here it is, everybody. This is what Wallace testified. This is what Wallace testified was in the narrative. Alan said, listen to this, you guys. I mean, this is amazing. It just blows idiots like Rick Snay out of the water. Alan said he saw his parents on the morning of the crime. He bought a 6-pack, drank 3 beers, and then he bundled up and he went to the trail. So how long do you think it takes to, drinking 3 beers, He drank 3 beers, bundled up, went to the trail, and saw the girls. And actually it says he drank the other 3 as well. This doesn't have that, it looks like. He then followed them to the bridge. Well, they were already, right there. They come to the bridge and he passes them. That's weird because that sort of matches what other people have said, that maybe he was following Betsy Blair and then the girls come by and he goes back and follows them and back to the bridge, right? Did something to his gun. It said he then followed them to the bridge, did something to his gun. It just says fun, but the word is gun. I've seen it written other places. And thought that was when the cartridge came out. He told the girls down the hill. So that's what he thought it was when it came out, but it didn't come out there. He said he planned on a sexual assault, but saw a van. He got scared and decided not to cross the creek and cut their necks, covered the bodies with branches. Then, staying off the trail to not be seen, Allen said he returned to the car, had lived his life normally since. I mean, that sounds exactly like it fits. And guess what, everybody? The white van that I've been telling you about, and, Fig Sauls is the one that told me about it. Got to give him the credit, but this was months ago. And this is what it's going to be, is Brad Weber, who's Kay Weber's son, who lives in that property. I'll show you right here. This is why you're only going to get this on this channel, because other people don't know what they're looking at when they're talking to you. Here's the private drive right here, and I think that when the van was driving right around this corner here, because from right here, I've seen photos from here, you can literally see the crime scene, and drove around. Okay, Morgan, get the hell out of here. See, that's what a troll would say. So just block people that say that today, okay? Because right after we're reading this, if you say, "You're not guilty," that means you're a troll. That means you're a fool, all right? It's not true, Gray. Maybe they just believe. Listen, anyways, the white van was driving right here, I bet. He looks up at the crime scene, sees it, goes, "Oh my God," and he's just panicking. And he kills them, starts covering with branches, and he takes off, right? Doesn't that make sense? Now, if they can prove that this van drove by like around 3:30-ish, something like that, 3:20 to 3:40, that is really bad, you guys, because that's information that only the killer would know. Isn't that true? Is there any way in hell that some random schmo that was out there inventing stuff would just know that a white van drove by at that point? Anybody? Right. That's crazy that she mentioned my channel at the stand. I'll have to go listen to what she said over there. Yeah, so there you go, everybody. I mean, that's crazy, right? And so we only know that because somehow her notes got, something she said, one of the interviews or something got out somehow, somewhere. I don't know, the genesis or anything like that. But that's absolutely crazy, and you heard it here first, or maybe on Fig Sauls. I don't know if he put it out there, but let's see. We just mentioned there might be a white van associated. Did the public know the girls were covered with branches at the time? Yeah, I mean, that's always been, there was always some just kind of, well, not the way you see them, but there was things like branches and debris or something. I mean, that part's irrelevant. The white van is the key. And I'm not really sure where the actual branches... It really came out big in the Odin document. I don't know if it was something that we knew. So that could be something that... I mean, it wasn't mentioned the same way. People would just say maybe there was branches and so forth, but he makes it really specific. But he also likely had seen Discovery at that point, photographs, etc., sitting around. So he would know that. The element that is interesting is the white van, okay? That's the one where that's never been out there. It's never been in the public. Okay? It came into the public as a rumor that he said that way after that. And that's because he said it, right? I mean, it's not like, he is the egg before the chicken. Right. I just explained it, Sugar Bear. I think it's going to be Brad Weber's van, the daughter of Kay Weber, the son of Kay Weber, who lives right there on that property. Yeah, I said that, truthfully, already. Yeah, he drank him. Yeah, I think he... And guess what? He leaves the house and he drinks a six-pack. Well, he probably had to go to the store to get the six-pack or something. Or maybe he went home, but he had to take the time to drink the six-pack. There is no chance in hell that... Yeah, what does the Kelsey hair have to do with anything, Nori? You're not one of the people that watches that fool who did a whole show on that, are you? Kelsey's hair is in the hand of Abby because she slid her hand through Kelsey's sweatshirt. Do you understand that? Hey, 655. Cheers. So let me read this part again, everybody, because it's really important. Alan said he saw his parents on the morning of the crime. Okay, this is where his parents live. They live up here in Mexico, Indiana, just north of Peru, Indiana, where Keegan Klein lives. Oh, God, I got to get back. I got to get back.
Day 10 of the Delphi murder.
God, Jesus. These guys are Nazis over here. You play one like you play a segment and they complain. So you just got to read their stuff. I mean, they do good reporting, but they're just brutal. If you play a video or something, man, they're just... Do you think that will affect the jury today? What? Do you think this will affect the jury today? Yes, it'll affect the jury today. What kind of wow, are you kidding me? What do you think it's going to do? They're going to go, oh yeah, forget it. So anyways, back to the map over here. Here is Mexico, Indiana's right there. And so he goes and visits his parents up there. So just keep that in mind. Back to this. He bought a 6-pack instead of lunch. So they wanted to go to lunch because, he doesn't want to go do that. So he leaves at 11:15, drank 3 beers when he got home, I guess, bundled up, and he went to the trail and saw the girls. But apparently, let me see what... I think they missed something on here, because I think the Crazy Defense Diaries, he's there, and he tweeted about it. Okay. He wrote, most notably the confession made on May 3rd, 2023, wherein he gave a narrative description of his activities in the day of the murders. Wallace stated that Rick stated he went to see his parents. Then they were going to eat lunch, and he wasn't interested. He said he picked up a 6-pack. So guess what, Rick Snay? He had to go to a store, go pick out a 6-pack, go up to the counter, and buy it. That's wasting more time, right? And let's see, most notably, and then it says, Wallace stated that Rick stated that he went to see his parents, then they were going to eat lunch, and he wasn't interested. He said he picked up a 6-pack of beer, drank it, and then he drank the other 3 beers later, okay? Went home, bundled up. See what I'm saying? Like, he's out there a long time. That's why he got there at 1:30, you guys. It's not like he went straight there. Bundled up and went to the bridge, followed the girls, stated that he did something with a gun, and then and that's when he must have dropped the round. He said he was intending on assaulting the girls, but a van startled him and he killed the girls, covered the bodies with sticks, and went back to his car, and he lived his life. So that's almost the same, but he drank all the beers. And so doesn't it make more sense? Does it really make sense to you guys that at 11:15 he's way up there in Mexico, Indiana, and he was able to get to the bridge by 12 after consuming a 6-pack? That's impossible, you guys. After going, he went to a store to get the 6-pack, and then he goes home and he drinks it or whatever, and then he gets the clothing up. Forget it. All right. He said he got there at 1:30 and he left at 3:30. Hey, thanks, Cheyenne R. Hey, Freak Fam. I have been keeping up with the trial and watching replays here with the best. Gray, and this all figured out years ago. I know, isn't that crazy, you guys? It's unfortunate that I'm not the channel that everybody was watching, because we would be in a different place as a community. Instead, it's just, it is what it is, right? So anyways, let's put this. Alan said he saw his parents on the morning of the crime. He bought a 6-pack instead of lunch. He drank 3 beers, and then he finished the others. Doesn't say it here, but we just read that it did. Bundled up, went to the trail, and saw the girls. He then followed them to the bridge. Did something to his gun, and thought that was when the cartridge came out. Told the girls down the hill. So he's saying he did something to his gun and thought it came out at that point when he cocked it at the end of the bridge. but that isn't when it came out. You know what's weird? Is it possible that twice he ejected bullets, but they never really found, like with a metal detector, underneath that bridge to see if one of them fell down and went through the cracks? I mean, I think somebody should go check to see if there's a freaking .40 caliber bullet underneath that bridge. You know, because if he said he always has one in the chamber, he racks his gun to scare him. Well, one's shooting out, hits the bridge, falls down underneath the bridge, and that bridge is really kind of far away, and it's not really something you would think. Let's check this under here with a metal detector. Hey, thank you, Hillbilly Belinda. Didn't Klein meet someone at a gas? Well, that's something. No, he searched the Marathon gas station, but we don't know if that's a true story. But that was something that was put out there. The Marathon gas station in Delphi that day. So Keegan Klein, who lives right next to his mom, Richard Allen's mom's house, had the catfishing account that was communicating with Libby and Abby that very same weekend, and apparently, based on the murder sheets reporting, they said that Keegan Klein searched for the Marathon gas station in Delphi that very same morning. Now, is that something that's real? You know, did somebody tell them something that wasn't? I don't know. So that's really weird, because a lot of us think that Richard Allen knew the girls were going to be there, but I don't know. You know, I mean, that confession could still mean that, but also just, you know, he saw the girls, but. You know, when he says he saw the girls, does that mean he was waiting for them to see them? I don't know if they had checked under the bridge, Cindy. Because that's not really something that's a correlated comment. He's just saying he thought that's where he lost it. But they go, no, he did it at the crime scene. So they might not have thought of it like that, you know. It seems like common, but like I say, common sense isn't really that common. Walla testified he told her he wanted his wife to know he loved her, kept repeating he didn't want to miss Easter, and had no psychotic symptoms at all. Can I get a boom? Wallace said that on May 5th, 2023, there was an evaluation of S-risk and treatment plan review for Allen with no number one goal ensuring safety, with the number one goal ensuring safety, and number two goal targeting Allen's depression and anxiety. They revisited the S-Watch from constant to close due to signs of improvement. Then Walla spoke of her notes from May 9th, 2023, meeting with Allen, during which she testified, he said, I just want to sign my confession. Wallace says she told Allen he needed to discuss that. God damn it. Jesus, I don't want to watch your video, okay? Where is it? All right, down here. And sorry if that bothered you, me swearing right there. Wallace said she told Allen he needed to discuss that with his attorneys. Well, of course, his attorneys wanted to keep bilking the system for money for months on a really popular case, so they didn't oblige him. We said, hey, we think we can get you off, man. There's these really crazy Odin theories we can bring out. Allen talked about self-harm and his last meal. Wallace said he then talked about wanting to get a job inside the Department of Corrections before later saying, I'd be better off dead. Her cognitive assessment was mild impaired judgment. From her May 10th, 2023 notes, Wallace said Allen called his wife. Walla left the room, but when she returned, Allen said he wanted to call his wife again so she could hear. During that call, so Allen then calls his wife while she's listening. During that call, Allen asked if family loved him and would always love him, and said he might have to live the rest of his life in prison. He also mentioned the electric chair. He stated he killed Abby and Libby, to his wife on the phone, Walla testified. Allen's wife said for him to stop saying that. God, she's stupid. Wallace said of Alan, he said, I didn't do everything I said I did, but I did kill Abby and Libby. Man, I don't know what the hell Kathy Allen is thinking. Like, you want to try to help get your psychotic, child killing. I don't know, man. It's just weird. I mean, I guess that's what, when you love somebody, you're, you know. It's crazy, man. Discussing notes from May 11th, Wallace said Allen mentioned he wanted closure by apologizing to the victims' families and wanted to see his wife. He said he needed closure for himself, Wallace testified. Discussing notes from August 3rd, Wallace said when she asked Allen how he was doing, he said he wanted to go to heaven. Allen said he wanted to see his wife and talk to his family and talked about being afraid of dying and not feeling well. He said he was concerned about his heart, Wallace said. Wallace said during that meeting, Allen said he didn't know what's rational anymore and didn't know if he was going to heaven. At 11 a.m. around 11 a.m. to around 8:45 a.m. I guess that must have meant I don't know. No, this is when it was written. 11 a.m. around 8:45 a.m. Wednesday, Richard Allen came into courtroom wearing lavender shirt, gray pants, and glasses on top of his head. Those glasses that he never really uses for anything. They're just sort of a prop sitting on top of his head. Judge Francis Gould entered the courtroom shortly after 9 a.m. and conducted a roughly 17-minute sidebar with attorneys at the request of the state. Jurors were brought into the courtroom around 9:30. Wow. There you go, everybody. Absolutely crazy. Can you believe it? So the key part here is Allen said he saw his parents on the morning of the crime, which are just north of Peru, Indiana, 4 miles. He bought a 6-pack instead of going to lunch. Drank beer, the 3 beers. So he goes home, and how long do you think it takes to drink? I mean, I guess you can guzzle beers, but, it's going to take 10, It's not going to, you're not going to, it's not going to be 1 minute, right? But he's drinking beers. Then he bundled up and he went to the trail and saw the girls. So it could be that he really was following Betsy Blair back. So if you look at this timeline right here. So Richard Allen gets there. Now he's drunk, So Richard Allen in the black car that pulls up to the abandoned CPS building right there. Then he gets out of the vehicle, and he's the blue dot there. The 3 girls pass him just as he's going onto the trail. Then he walks down to the trails right here. Was he on a mission to see Abby and Libby? We still don't know. He goes to the bridge, and then here comes Betsy Blair. Then Betsy Blair comes down and goes to the bridge, and Abby and Libby were dropped off just after her, about 2 minutes later. And then Betsy Blair turns around and goes this way. Now, what if at this point he started actually following her, as somebody suggested, and then he passes Abby and Libby over here a little bit further, and he's not still standing at the bridge, but he's starting to follow Betsy Blair because he's drunk. But then here comes Abby and Libby, so he turns around back here, and eventually it sort of looks like how I have it right here, and then he comes following from behind just like that, and then he cycles a bullet, then he goes across the creek, and then cycles one over here, obviously, because there was one on the ground. Man, that's interesting. So that kind of it makes sense, absolutely makes sense, so. And so let's continue on that. And he then followed them to the bridge, did something to his gun. They corrected that. Remember a minute ago it said fun. And thought that was when the cartridge came out. Told the girls down the hill. But that isn't when it came out. It came out at the crime scene. And so I'm thinking, man, why don't they check underneath that bridge with a metal detector and see if they can find another .40 caliber round, because he probably ejected that cycled bullet twice Hey, thanks, Alley Cat. Well, it's means a lot to me. I appreciate it, so thank you very much. And thank you, Campbelltown. Your work hard. I also don't want to get yelled at. R. You don't want to get yelled R? What do you mean? I don't get it. I'm not gonna yell at you. I mean, you guys look at when you guys watch my show. I'm not. Sometimes, I mean, you get to see me every single day, 3 hours a day. So even when I'm having a crappy day, I come on here, and and I'm a sarcastic person, humor, etc. Some people don't like it, and then it gets worse, and then we get back to normal again. It's kind of like Thanksgiving dinner in here, you guys. We always describe it that way. You're arguing about politics at the table, then you all sit down and watch the football game and start joking around. That's how it is. And if you're not somebody who can deal with it like that, then you'll probably be one of the people that take off and never come back. Anyways, he said he planned on assaulting the girls, but then he saw a van, and then he got scared and decided not to. Then he crossed the creek. Oh wow, that's interesting. So the timing of that, he got scared and decided not to cross the creek, and then he cut the necks before covering the bodies with branches. Okay, so here's the theory that he's saying means he's not at the crime scene yet, if that's the order that he's trying to say. And so what that is I always had this theory from the very beginning that he brought him over here to this little corner here. And guess what? All of us have assumed, well, the thing is the phone stopped moving at 2:32, so I'm not really sure how to square that. But anyways, if he goes back in this corner, I thought this was the place that he was going to do it, right back here. It's like this little, and it's really way more trees kind of blocking it back there. I always thought it was right here, and then the girls made an escape, but it sounds like, I mean, man, could you imagine if a van drove by right there and you're right here? That's going to freak you out. So then he brings them over here maybe and kills them. I don't know. We don't really know if that's the order he's saying. That's just what the notes say. It makes more sense if he's over here, sees the van, and then he ends up killing them and then covers them with sticks. I mean, why not just kill them right here and cover them with sticks? I don't know. I mean, who knows why any of these people do anything. But I think it's going to be Brad, as Fig Solve says. He gets all the credit. We've been talking about it for months, so it makes sense. And I think they're going to be able to figure out the time that the van drove by, because there is a white van, apparently, that drives by on that road, and he saw it. So there you go. So is this changing anybody's minds now? Like, for those of you out there that keep thinking, oh, Richard Allen, boy, he's being railroaded, this is all bullshit. What do you think now? What do you think right now? I mean, seriously. This is like, he's sitting there and he's calmly saying this stuff. I didn't know I was mentioned on the stand, but I heard it today here. I don't know why I was mentioned. What was the context of why I was mentioned? That's pretty funny. Hold on.
Day 10 of the Delphi murders trial, and for the first time, the jury hears the voice of Richard Allen.
Okay, there we go. She said she watches your channel. Ah, cool. So at least there's somebody out there that watches one of the rational channels that literally just go through the factual information in the case. Let's see. I hope that's not going to be something, because I'm one of the people that have believed that Richard Allen is the guy as soon as the probable cause document came out. I read it. He's locked in as bridge guy, so that's going to be like, did he influence your? That's funny though. That's hilarious. I've never seen my name. I guess I did see it one time, somewhat recently in something. Weird. Right. Here, let's see what the Wish TV version is. Let's see, because they've done an update now, I'm sure. And day 11, they've got to have something. Let's see what they say. All right, let's go. Let's do theirs. 11:08. Okay, so this, I guess this has the whole thing. So court resumed at 9:09. Judge Gold mentioned there were logistical security issues that needed to be addressed to explain the delay. The prosecution asked for a sidebar, which lasts 15 minutes. At 9:25 a.m., the jury enters. Judge Gold says the jury again had supervised contact with their phones. I guess there's probably not much phone sex going on if it's being supervised. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's probably somebody standing right there, and you're like, now listen, okay, it's just not working for me. Sorry about that. Gosh, Gray, I can't believe you said that, you bastard. The prosecution asked for a sidebar, which lasts 15 minutes. The state calls clinical psychologist Dr. Monica Walla. She is a contractor and lead psychologist at the Indiana Department of Corrections at the Westville Correctional Unit, where Allen was housed. Yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe that. Well, they're not really going to do that because they got to read the sexting. Maybe they were like coaching, saying, listen, okay, maybe say this. I think that'll work for you. Because they have to read the text messages. That just sucked. An entire month. That's crazy. Oh, Cindy, you're such a little goody two-shoes. Other people thought it was funny, Cindy. The only thing that's funny to you is something you say. Ah, she liked it, huh? Crazy. I suspected him ever since he mentioned looking down below at fish. Well, you can see the fish, and the bridge is only 60 feet high, so that was actually a true statement that you could see fish. Well, you're actually not, Cindy. You're... let's see. Campbelltown. I especially enjoy the whiny, okay, Gray, you bastard voice. Wow, is that why people are here? Because I was mentioned by somebody? That's sad. I've been covering this case since the day that the girls were missing and know the whole thing, gone through it for all these years. Let's see. The state calls clinical psychologist Dr. Monica Walla. She is a contractor and lead psychologist at the Indiana Department of Correction at the Westville Correctional Unit, where Allen was housed. Walla tells the jury she handles the more serious cases at Westville. Walla says initially it was just her that worked with Allen, but then other professionals, including psychiatrists, began seeing him. Walla said when she met with Allen, he was unshackled and seated in a cubicle. I'm just going to move down here. Walla told the jury on April 5th, 2023, Allen discussed his case with her unprompted. In her report, she said Allen told her, I killed Abby and Libby and became tearful. He started crying. Walla said Allen told her he made sure they were dead because he did not want them to suffer. You know, people out there say that, here's the deal with false confessions. You know when false confessions happen? Somebody who wants notoriety prior to being arrested, and law enforcement looks at him, looks up the stuff, and goes, yeah, they didn't do it, but they didn't have the right information. They already have the information on Richard Allen, and he confessed after being in jail for a while. That's when he confessed. And that's when, like, a normal, like a person who's confessing confesses, because he's been charged from other information, and now he's confessing to the crime. And he's using information that only the killer would know. In a report, she said Alan told her, "I killed Abby and Libby," and became tearful. Walla said Alan told her he made sure they were dead because he did not want them to suffer. That wasn't in any of the other reporting. Walla told the jury that Alan told her his intentions were sexual in nature. He told her he thought the girls were 18 or 19, but thought they could have been as young as 11. Walla said Alan, "Hey, thanks, green-eyed PI. Hey, you bastard." Walla told the jury that Alan told her intentions were sexual. And they said, Walla said Alan told her he's been selfish all of his life. Alan told her he wanted to apologize to the victim's family. Yeah, that sounds like false. You know, that's something somebody that would falsely be confessing would say. Walla said Alan claimed he, tried to, attack his sister and experimented sexually with male and female children. Jesus. His age when he was a kid. Walla said Alan told her this is where he thought his problem started. My God. I mean, he's going, Walla told the jury Alan said he had been an alcoholic twice since 2011. No, you're always an alcoholic. You don't be, it's not like catching a cold or something. Alan told her he accepted God on March 21st, 2023. Remember how I was telling you guys he got religious and everything? And expressed remorse for the killing, according to Walla. Hey, thanks, Melanie, and welcome to Brilani. Walla said Alan claimed... Okay, we already did that. Walla told the jury Alan said he had been an alcoholic. Yeah, we did that. Walla said Alan expressed appreciation for being clothed and fed at Westville. He asked for Bibles and slept with one. She said he asked to speak with a chaplain. Walla told the jury... Walla told the jury she had a bizarre smile. He had a bizarre smile. God dang it. Oh my God. And claimed he had memory lapses. She said he confessed in a very matter-of-fact manner. Walla said she thought he could have been purposeful and instrumental, I'm not sure what that means, with his confessions. She said she was aware he had written confessions in request and requested an interview. Walla said Alan's normal eye contact was sometimes intense and that she saw intermittent gazing, but then would be normal. His emotions were kind of up and down, she said. Kind of like you would be if you killed somebody, Walla told the jury he was able to talk about things concisely and chronologically. She said she thought his depression had improved at that point. The prosecution asked Walla about her May 2nd, 2023 report. Walla said the meeting with Alan was very tangential and focused on the same topics as before. Walla tells the jury that Alan said he killed Abby and Libby, that he will kill everyone, and mentioned starting World War III. Walla said she asked Alan if he would kill himself. Then Alan told her other inmates tell him to do that. She said Alan told her he would kill himself by standing on the sink, but said he wanted to die. Remember that weird thing on top of the basketball hoop earlier this year? Walla told the jury that Alan said, I am insane. And by the way, you guys remember last night we were talking about the van incident. Possibly him mentioning a van in one of his confessions. You guys remember that? And by the way, for the freaks that have been watching my channel, how long ago was it that we talked about that just on a night we were discussing the case? Like, I would say probably, in my opinion, like 4, 5, 6 months ago, something like that. All right. Walla told the jury that there was no indication of hallucination. let's see. Waller told the jury that Allen said, "I am insane," when asked why he consumed his feces. Wallace said Allen then said he wanted to die. Wallace said Allen did not present as a psychotic, and she thought at this point that he was in brief psychotic disorder remission. She told the jury she approved Allen's reading materials. They just wrote proved, and puzzles, and that he was receptive in the beginning. Right. Until he was told to act crazy. Walla said he broke his tablet and that she discussed getting him a television, but he declined. Walla told the jury that there was no indication of hallucinations and that Allen had disordered speech. Walla said on May 3rd, Allen wanted to call his wife, but the call did not go through. Allen told her he went to see his parents on the morning of the murders. He drank 3 beers and then he went to the bridge. He told Walla he saw the girls that he wanted to assault the girls. Allen said he cut their throats, saw a man, and got scared. No, they saw a van, not a man. I don't know who wrote this one here. At some point, he said a bullet fell out. Walla said Allen told her, so he might have seen his, here's the thing. Nothing in there other than the van makes a difference, okay? The rest of that stuff he could have seen in Discovery. Okay, he knew there was a bullet on the ground. He probably knew about the branches, but he wouldn't know about the van that drove by, okay? Walla told the jury that he almost seemed relieved. She said Allen said that if he died, he wanted his wife to know he loved her. Walla said Allen kept saying he didn't want to miss Easter. Walla said Allen had no psychotic symptoms at this point. Walla showed a document from May 5th, 2023 that showed that Allen went from being constantly watching to being a close watch. She said Allen went back to being watched every 15 minutes and that this signals improvement. The jury was then shown a document from May 9th, 2023 in which Allen said to Walla, "I just want to sign my confession." Walla said Allen mentioned self-harm, snapping his neck and planning his last meal. Walla said he did not indicate that he was exhibiting psychotic symptoms. Another report from May 10, 2023 is shown to the jury. Walla told the jury that this visit began okay, but Allen was upset he couldn't use a phone. Walla got him a phone and he called his wife. Walla told the jury she left the room, but that Allen said he wanted to call her back to say he did it. Walla told the jury Allen called back and asked if his wife and family loved him. He said, do you love me? And they probably said, yeah, we love you, Richard, I'm sure, on the other end. And then he said, I killed Abby and Libby, he said in the phone, according to Walla. Walla told the jury that his wife, Kathy, told him, stop saying that. And the phone shut off. Walla said Allen told her after the call that Kathy did not believe him. Walla said he was affectionate to Kathy on the phone. See how ridiculous, this is just... The next report shown, see, here's the thing, is I think it's the attorneys and Kathy who are, they don't want, like Kathy doesn't want to look bad for, like, oh my God, you were married to a killer. So she's going to go all out and she's just totally on the defense side, and the defense wants to make all the money they're getting for it. And the person that nobody seemed to care about, and why the judge at one point tossed his attorneys out, is because they're not working on behalf of Richard Allen at all. Okay? They aren't. Nobody is. Richard Allen wanted to confess over and over and over again, and they didn't want him to. They wanted to make their money and be famous. It's ridiculous. Hey, thanks, Campbelltown. I've watched your show off and on for years. You do incredible work and visuals. Your humor cracks me up, you bastard. And thanks, what is it? Brilani up there, and then Paul Ayers. I really don't think his wife could imagine he did this. I don't know. I think she wants him to be innocent. And there's no way she can't see that. He actually had a violence against her at one point. And she knows that he's, has some problems. Yeah. Anyways, I mean, I'm not like, I'm not hateful towards Kathy or anything like that. She's probably doing what a lot of us might think, You know what I'm saying? Like, you might think, like, I don't want to believe it. So then you'll do whatever you can to free the person, or help them get off, even though they've told you they did it, She left him off too many times. Yeah, somebody, I did get an email from somebody. It was kind of interesting. I guess apparently Richard Allen's referring to, like, the bullet. He was saying, I don't know how my bullet was left there. Well, my bullet. I mean, he's admitting it's his, So that was a pretty cool comment that they made. I hadn't really thought of it like that, but another report from May 10, 2023 is shown to the jury. Walla told the jury that the visit began okay, but Allen was upset he couldn't use a phone. Walla told the jury she left the room. Okay, Walla told the jury that his wife Kathy told him stop saying that and the phone shut off. Wallace said Allen told her after the call that Kathy did not believe him. Wallace said he was affectionate to Kathy on the phone. The next report shown to the jury was from May 11, 2023. Wallace said Allen started the meeting by saying he wanted closure and wanted to apologize to the family and that he wanted to go to heaven and wanted to die and say bye to his family. She told the jury he indicated he felt his family did not want him to contact them. Then the prosecution asked, this is at 11:08, about Allen's physical appearance in November 2022. She tells the jury he was about 180 pounds and had began refusing meals and over-exercising. She said the exercising seemed positive at first. Walla tells the jury that if you miss 3 meals, they don't report. If you miss 4, they have to report. She said Allen was mindful not to miss the 4th meal. Walla referenced another report from November 10th, so that means he's really cunning, Walla referenced another report from November 10th, 2022. She said Allen said he felt he was a burden, didn't understand who she would be speaking with about the case because he had not been assigned a public defender. The next report shown was from April 7th, 2023, and that was when, I think that might have, I don't know, I thought he already had a public defenders by that time. But, I'm not sure if that was when, no, because it was last year when his attorneys were removed. The next report shown from April 7th, 2023. Walla told Allen that he had confessed and told him it was not in his best interest that it could get to the media. Walla told the jury that she felt like he was being more blatant with his confusion. She said she felt he was purposeful being that way, faking it. And absolutely true. When Richard Allen confessed to his wife and mother, he started, that's when the craziness started, once his attorney found out about it. Let's see. The next report is from April 10th, 2023. Walla tells the jury that she noticed faking symptoms. She said Allen was naked during this meeting, that there were papers on the floor, and was doing unknown things to his penis and talking about his wife. Walla tells the jury that the papers on the floor were discovery papers for the case. Walla told the jury it appeared he received the discovery around the time he started confessing. Right. So that would mean, he doesn't know about the white van. That's the key there. She said the prison warden did not want and also when he saw the damning information that was in the papers, he realized he was toast. The next report is from April 12th, 2023. Wallace said she noticed Alan was masturbating, clapping, banging his head, and naked. She said he refused to wear his kimono. She said she felt like his behavior was done in order to get something. Another report shown to the jury from April 13th, Wallace told the jury that Alan's behavior was escalating, that he was laying in and consuming his feces. She said a psychiatrist offered medication and Alan refused. She said the psychiatrist said Alan didn't qualify for an emergency injection. It was at that time Wallace told the jury that Alan's watch changed from close to constant. She said that she thought he was having an emotional breakdown related to the discovery paperwork. She said she still felt like he was faking it. Wallace told the jury it was getting to the point where it almost doesn't matter whether he is faking it or not because he is deteriorating. Another report is shown to the jury of April 17, 2023. Wallace told the jury that Alan's window was greasy and dirty and that he was standing in his cell with his eyes closed praying. She said he agreed to come out of his cell. Wallace told the jury he seemed like he switched from bizarre to coherent. Hey, would you guys mind hitting that like button for me? You know, we got 389 likes with 1,400 people watching. I think it should be a little bit higher, so I'm going to go ahead and hit that auctioneer sound, and if we can get that like going, that'd be great. Hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button, 40. It's one of the easiest damn things to do in the world. Right, Cindy J, you just hit the like button. You hit the like button, 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button, 40, 45, 50. Hit that like button. Right, let's do it again. Hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing to do in the world. You just hit the like button. Hit the like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Hit that like button. All right. Hey, look at that. We got up to 487. Very cool. We lost 20 people too because they didn't want to be told what to do. If I want to hit the like button, I'll do it, you bastard, without you telling me. Jesus. Wow. Unbelievable, everybody. Isn't that true? Look at that, another 20 bailed. What a bunch of babies. Wallace told the jury it was getting to the point where it almost doesn't matter whether he's faking it or not. Another report is shown to the jury from April 17, 2023. Wallace told the jury that Alan's window was greasy and dirty and that he was standing in the cell with his eyes closed praying. She said he agreed to come out of his cell. Wallace told the jury he seemed like he switched from bizarre to coherent. She said he kept his eyes closed for the session. He said he was having nightmares. Wallace told the jury Alan said, "I just want to tell the truth. I'm afraid I lied so much," she said. Alan told her he did vulgar and disgusting things. Wallace said Alan told her the last thing he remembered was falling asleep and activating nuclear war. Wallace said his words were disjointed. Wallace said Alan received involuntary medication on April 14th, and she said that improvement was seen in Alan. Another report was shown from April 21st. Wallace said she felt Alan's odd behavior not to be genuine. A report from April 25th, 2023 said Alan denied experiencing anything like this in the past and thought this could be due to him not taking his medication, including Prozac. Wallace told the jury that she advocated for Alan to visit his wife, which is not typical for patients in the Westville Correctional Unit. She said Alan continued to ask to be transferred. The next report shown was from April 28, 2023. Wallace said she observed Alan on the bed naked and the cell smelled and he asked for a shower. She told the jury that his awareness on his smell was, God, I'm not sure, awareness of his smell was a good sign. Get rid of the word on. She said Alan told her he had not been showering because he was selfish. She said he went on about flushing the Bible down the toilet. She said, I didn't see him as psychotic. It was possible he was very depressed. At 11:53 a.m., the defense began to cross-examine Walla. Defense attorney Brad Rosie asked Walla about her career, history, and Walla said that she is no longer working with Indiana Department of Corrections, and she is now working at a different facility through a contractor. Rosie tells the jury that Walla was following the Delphi murder case far before treating Mr. Allen, that she followed the case on Facebook through podcasts. Walla agrees. Rosie tells the jury that Walla used the Indiana Department of Correction database to find information about the case, and the Indiana Department of Correction investigating her for that. He says that this is why she's not at the Indiana Department of Correction right now. He tells the jury Walla was contributing and recommending on social media where to get information earlier than 2024. I mean, it sucks that there's always some kind of a thing like that, you know. But nevertheless, he still said the things that he said. No, you cannot call in, Nathan. Why do you ask that on every single show? I mean, seriously. It doesn't matter what show it is, you want to call in. I'm surprised you didn't just dial it in. You know, now I'm making sure to turn that sucker off. Let's see. He's doomed. Good for you, the sleuth kid. Yeah. So, anyways, wow, pretty crazy, huh? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think the defense is going to? I mean, he likes talking to me or whatever, but it's just bizarre, you know. It's like, come on, man, give me a break for a minute. Ah, jeez. Thank you, sleuth kid. I was looking for adulation from somebody. Thank you. Jesus. Yeah, we already know about the white van, Mr. Tomato Head. We talked about the white van on the channel for like 5-6 months now. Thank you. I already know about it. Let's see. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. See what he just typed in? My calls are epic. Jeez. Oh my God. Alan was 100%. Oh yeah, Alan was 100% railroaded by these extreme attention-seeking attorneys. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, you mean his own attorneys? Well, he wasn't railroaded. That's the other way around. You're saying that they just strung him along. Railroaded means that you're, you know, you didn't do something, and you know, sort of forced you through the system. That's not what's going on. It's the opposite of railroading. Well, cool, Nathan. When I do open lines again, be sure to call in. Okay, but I'm just trying to figure out the context of why my channel was mentioned. I know I heard it in a document a few weeks back, or before trial started, but I didn't know what it was about. But here's the thing, everybody. So now that I've got people here, I want you to see this. Now that you're sitting here, we got people here. Put a 1 if you're somebody who hasn't really ever watched my channel before. Because when you watch this right now, I've had this animation for probably 5 months. And it hasn't changed. It's exactly the same. And this is why I've always believed Richard Allen is the killer no matter what. Okay? He has no out. He is the bridge guy. Okay? So, okay. I can say this. He's at least responsible for kidnapping the girls. I don't know what happened at the crime scene. All right? So watch this, everybody. And when you watch this, you'll finally see it, and you'll go, whoa. All right? Okay, so keep in mind, Richard Allen said in his second interviews, he told Dan Doolin in his first interview, he got there at 1:30 and left at 3:30, right? He changed it from 12 to 1:30 in October of 2022, all right? These three girls right here, there's actually four, but I just have three because those are the witnesses. The three girls right here were at the bridge at 12:43. They must have got here at like 12:20 because the Freedom Bridge is over here and that's where they came from, right? So Richard Allen was never seen by these girls the entire time that they walked down here, then they made it here, and then they got here at 1:26. They hadn't seen Richard Allen the entire time. And you know why? Because he wasn't there. His phone also didn't ping. He said he was looking at stock tickers. There's no evidence his phone was ever in the area. So they clear the area prior, in a secondary story, right? Now let's go with the one that's real. The girls are here at 12:43. Then eventually at 1:26 they're at a bench right here. Okay, here's the Hoosier Harvest Store. This is the Mears property. This is the parking area right there. And this is the abandoned CPS building up here at the top. On the top left right there. Okay, so they're sitting there at 1:26. And then watch this. Right about 1 minute after they get there, the black car goes by, the Hoosier Harvest Store, which matches Richard Allen's 2016 black Ford Focus. It drives around and then it parks at the abandoned CPS building, just like he said. And yesterday it was confirmed in court that it wasn't parked downtown or anything. It was right there. So he gets out of the vehicle. He's in blue there. And those same girls, they start exiting. And right where the woods start, after going over the Freedom Bridge, Richard Allen passes the three girls. And yes, their recollection and description were slightly different. And yet, they all said the person they saw was the person in Libby's video. So this right here is Richard Allen right here. Is anybody that doesn't believe that that blue is Richard Allen at this point? He said he got there at 1:30. His car is verified driving by. He passes three girls. They saw him and he saw them. So if it's not reasonable at this point for anybody to believe this is somebody other than Richard Allen at this point. Then those same girls, just keep watching them, and Richard Allen's making his way. It takes 11 minutes. He passed the girls about 1:35. 11 minutes, he's at the bridge at 1:46. These girls will go over State Road 25, and there goes Betsy Blair looking up and sees them, probably at 1:45. All right, so at 1:45, she looks up, and there's those four girls. That verifies that the time that they were in the area. So the girl who said, well, I think it was 2:15 when she left, she just didn't get it right. She didn't remember it correctly. Not only that, Bree's image at 1:26 on the bench shows that they're heading out that direction. So look at Richard Allen then gets to the bridge at 1:46, and here comes Betsy Blair passing the Hoosier Harvest Store and parks at 1:47. She gets out and goes to the trails. Now Richard Allen would have to run like Carl Lewis on steroids to have got here and blown past Betsy Blair to get over here or something so she wouldn't see him. All right? And he said he went there to go look at fish. How many people go to a bridge and look at fish for 1 second? Nobody does. So he is this person too. He gets to the bridge and he says he's on platform 1 and he's looking at fish. Betsy Blair goes there, turns around at the barricades. Now, a discrepancy from trial is that Betsy Blair always said she was 50 feet away. It turns out that the barricades are 111 feet from platform 1, which is 37 yards, which makes it very unlikely she had a good shot or remembering of what he looked like. Okay? So she turns around, and then she's heading out, and halfway back, she passes Abby and Libby. And guess who this is? This is Richard Allen right here. Abby and Libby then walk towards the bridge, and there's Richard Allen. Now, I think he made them feel comfortable. Now, in the other story, it could have been that he followed Betsy Blair and then turned around. But I think he stood back here and he let them cross the bridge. And then once they got about 2/3 of the way across, he crossed it. And then Betsy Blair, right when he's taking him down the hill, gets back to her vehicle, drives out, and sees a vehicle parked at the abandoned CPS building backed in. Right? So she drives by, and there she goes. And then down the hill, after cycling a bullet, across the creek, and then they were killed over here, and a bullet matching the ejection marks from Richard Allen's P226 was found there, and then Richard Allen has confessed to the murders with information that only the killer knows. So does anybody out there, can you give me a reasonable explanation using this animation here? This is all based on the probable cause and what was at trial, because it's the same. How can that not be Richard Allen right there? How many other people at 1:30 on a Monday had a day off that would wearing that type of clothing at that bridge? And there's only one person, it's Richard Allen. Why didn't Richard Allen see the person who looked like him? Does anybody have an answer to that one? And the answer is because there isn't another person. It's him. Why didn't he admit to seeing Abby and Libby? He had to have passed them. Yeah. Okay. So for those watching that, can you see why I've always believed this? There is no out for Richard Allen. He is bridge guy. 100%. There's no way to get out of it. And he's confessed now. And what he confessed to is that after he got to the end of the bridge, he takes the girls down here, and then a white van drives up on this road right here. And apparently, Kay Weber's son might actually drive a white van. I guess we'll have to see how that turns out. Anyways, I wish the jury had an animation like that, because when you see it, you look at it and you go, yeah, Jesus, you're right. Because I want you to look at it like the way I keep, I always tell the freaks when you're looking at it is, see, Betsy Blair is a clearing agent just like the girls are. The three girls. There's no Richard Allen, there's no Richard Allen, there was no Richard Allen before this. So the whole 12 to 1:30 time is completely, there's no male looking like Richard Allen or the bridge guy. Then you get to the bench here, and it's only after that they pass the individual that looks like the bridge guy, and Richard Allen is saying he's wearing exactly the same clothing that the bridge guy is wearing. Then Richard Allen heads this direction, and now he's at the bridge looking at fish. Now Betsy Blair gets out, and she goes to the bridge and sees him there. And now Betsy Blair is clearing the trail again, does not see anybody resembling a male or looking like bridge guy all the way there and then all the way back. So at the very least, Richard Allen is still in this area when Betsy Blair makes it back to her car. Is it reasonable to believe that that person is not Richard Allen? And the answer is no. Okay? There you go. And back to check out. You're live again. Hope you're feeling better today. Hey, Chrissy G, see? It's like, hey, I was trying to speak to you later in the show. The rest of last night's show was great. You missed it. Yeah, like we had a great call. Steve called in for about an hour. It was good stuff. And what I always tell people in here, it's like Thanksgiving dinner. We get in arguments, yelling back and forth, and then at the end of the show, we're all on the same page again, and everything's great. This is like a real life situation. I'm not going to pretend to feel a certain way or. Okay, so you did watch, all right? So you did see it was kind of more normal than you thought, Chrissy. A little more interesting than you thought, right? Come on, let's be honest. Why did Betsy see a car that wasn't what Richard Allen drove? Because her memory just isn't very good, man. People don't remember everything exactly right. Look at that, it's Mag, the legend. Man, it's so cool. Whenever the freaks come in, it's amazing when you see them, Thanks, Mag. Very kind, very kind. And by the way, if you guys want to see what the amazing stuff that we do, check out tomorrow. That's our donation night, where we do one last push for an hour. And then my channel donates thousands of dollars to various true crime related charities. We actually, this month so far, have already given, I think $1,335 so far this month. So tomorrow, I want to try to do like 3,000 or more out, and I'm probably going to give 2,000 more to our DNA fund. Let's see if we can get some money to Texas EquiSearch again, and maybe NCMEC and Honor the Girls National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. That comes out of the income from the channel, by the way. You know. So there you go. That's it. So whether, you know, people might not like me or anything, but it's just, you know, we're one of the few YouTube channels that actually make a difference outside of, you know, really making a difference. Like, we do the shows, and I try to do my show making a difference, meaning like I want people to see the truth and reality of cases instead of the sensationalistic bullcrap that you see all the time. And so I feel like I'm making a difference in that way, but a real tangible thing is the stuff we do at the end of the month. And we actually have a scholarship fund, if you can believe that. Like last year, we gave out two $3,000 scholarships to students in the criminal justice field, and we've already got the $6,000 set up for this year, but we're giving three $2,000 scholarships just to kind of spread it out a little bit more. And that's already been taken care of throughout the year, and we're receiving the video applications. It's so much less. I mean, Zozo and Plato had to go through, like, I don't even remember the number now, like 500 and something applications written. I mean, that's like reading Moby Dick 6 times, you know. Hey, thanks Cheryl Bullock and Danny ICURN and K-Me. Cheryl Bullock. Anyways, hope you guys feel like there's some value to that. But when you watch what I just showed you right there, for the ones that typed in 1 that you haven't seen my channel before, do you see, when you see it in an animation like that, that there's really no way that cannot be Richard Allen? Even though one girl said all black, the other one said blue jeans, blue jacket, the other one said blue jeans and a dark jacket, one said he was a little bit taller. That's just the way people are, man. That's how people remember stuff. They weren't told, oh, you got to remember what this person looks like. However, when they were all shown the picture of Bridge Guy, they all said, that is the person in Libby's video that we saw walking by. You know, when they were shown a picture of Bridge Guy, they say, yep, that's the one we saw. And Sarah Carbaugh saw a person muddy and bloody walking up there. And so it came out in court that when Sarah Carbaugh drove by right here, she saw, those are I can't even tell you what those are on the screen. They're faces on a plane. But anyways, when she drove by the Mears property, she said that was right around, you know, close to 4 o'clock. It was 3:57. That there were people standing here. And that was because people had started showing up to look for Abby and Libby. Can you believe it? So when Richard Allen came through the cemetery and was walking down here muddy and bloody, he probably saw them there. So do you think he's just going to walk right by them? No, he probably cut up through here quietly, slowly, looking, you know, nobody suspect anything. And then he walks back like this to make his way to the vehicle. That's what I think. Yeah. Yeah, we've already talked about the KK connection. They apparently, the dad and Keegan's dad and Richard Allen perhaps worked at the same Chrysler plant. I'm not sure if that's a reality or not, but there was a document that came out that showed something like that, right? Anyways, sounds like he crawled up the bank in a hurry. Well, you mean, they all would have done that. I mean, Libby had mud on her shirt. So let me for those of you who are kind of new, let me show you why the Keegan Kline thing. I mean, have most of you, has everyone heard of Keegan Kline, or are there people in here that haven't heard of Keegan Kline and the Anthony Schatz profile? Put a 1 if you have not heard about that at all. Because it's definitely something that is really bizarre, you know, to say the least. I did ask one of the investigators at one point, just a simple, they were looking into why there was a leak in something. regarding the crime scene photos. And I did ask, I said, hey, so what, did you guys ever make a connection with Richard Allen and Keegan Kline? And they said, we were never able to find one. All right. So let me show you Keegan Kline. Ah, shit. Spelled it wrong. How do you do that? Right, that's Keegan Kline right here. Basically a cave troll in human, personification, almost anthropomorphic. He's a cave troll that looks like a human. I don't know, but and he was a catfishing account, and this is the account. This guy right here is a fireman who was a model, and he would pretend he was that person while communicating with young girls. It turns out that Keegan Kline was actually communicating with Abby and Libby on that very same weekend. Saturday, Sunday, especially Libby. And apparently Libby really liked the guy. It was like, wow, he's so great and everything. And was communicating, and then they went and investigated. They found that he had liked one of Libby's accounts. I don't know if it was like Instagram or whatever. But they were able to find out where the IP address came from, and it came from Tony Kline's house, Keegan Kline's father, and they did a search warrant on February, I believe, 25th of 2017. So just literally 2 weeks after the murders, they go to their house, and they collect all these phones, and they were just filled with CSAM material. Just chock filled. And while they were there, they took Keegan Kline down to be interrogated, or actually polygraphed, and all the questions were regarding the Abby and Libby case, every one of them. And he did not give them his phone, though, that he was using during the time of the homicides. Kind of similar to Richard Allen, how his phone just magically disappeared. And they didn't give it to him. So when he got home from the polygraph test and law enforcement had left, he retrieved the phone based on forensic evidence later. They were able to determine that when he got home, he got the phone, he started uninstalling, deleting, uninstalling, deleting, uninstalling, deleting apps over and over and over again to completely wipe that phone clean. All right, and it worked. There was nothing on that phone, so they had to wait for a while to get information. So they couldn't find anything that was on that phone. And then all the stuff they were really into, law enforcement was really digging into. I mean, how doesn't that just make sense that Keegan Kline is the catfishing account, and somehow, and by the way, the investigation into Keegan Kline, he owned a Dropbox. I actually just found it. I see it on this website that I can use. I put his email address in, and there's a Dropbox right there. Keegan Kline, it led to one of the largest pedophile rings in Indiana state history. So then you think to yourself, wow. So, this is before Richard Allen was even being talked about. And we didn't know about Keegan Kline until 2020 when all this came out. And then you think, well, shit, is there somebody that was connected to that Dropbox that knew the girls were going to be there that day because the Anthony Shots profile was communicating with those girls? Doesn't that make sense? Right? I mean, you would think that would make sense. And by the way, when they went to the house to serve the warrant, Keegan and his dad had just got back from Las Vegas. They just got back from Las Vegas. And while he was in Las Vegas, Keegan Kline miraculously found a cell phone in the back of a cab that he factory reset. And if you believe that story, I got some swampland. I mean, that is insane, right? Right, so then what's crazy is that I think it was in 2022 in September, the Indiana State Police was right up here. This is where Keegan Kline and his dad live, in Peru, Indiana. They were searching the Wabash River for 3 weeks right here, looking for an item that Keegan Kline had knowledge of or threw something in there himself. Okay? And when they were looking into the water, they found absolutely nothing. But 1 week prior to them finishing searching in there, that's when the tip came in that led to Richard Allen, meaning like the lady found it digging through the files, and it led to Richard Allen. And so then law enforcement was trying to connect Richard Allen to Keegan Kline, but they never were able to find a connection. And then strangely, at trial recently, just even today's testimony, he's visiting his mother. And guess where his mother lives, everybody? Right here. There's Peru, and the mother lives right there. Like you'd almost have to drive through Peru to get there. It's only 4 miles away. He even said he visited his mother in Peru, Indiana. Don't you find that just absolutely amazing? I mean, was he really visiting his mother, or did he go here? This is just side speculation here, based on information. Did he go here and find out that Abby and Libby were going to be on the bridge that day, go home, get drunk, get his coat, went out to the bridge, and remember how the girls said, the 4 girls said that when he walked by, he had his head down, looked like he was on a mission. Then Betsy Blair, when she got to the bridge here, said it looked like he was waiting for somebody, but it wasn't her. That's interesting stuff, everybody. What are the odds that a catfishing account communicating with Libby on the same weekend isn't responsible, and it's just some other random killer? Also, after the girls were missing, one of Libby's friends contacted the Anthony Shots profile that Keegan Kline was using and told them that, wow, did you hear what happened to Abby and Libby? And Anthony Shots said, oh my God, what? I was supposed to meet him this weekend, but they never showed up. Wow, so if that's true, then the Anthony Shots profile only didn't get to meet a catfishing account, only didn't get to meet the girls because some other random killer named Richard Allen got to them first. I mean, what a bad weekend. Ridiculous, right? So anyways, that's sort of this side theory. I know that law enforcement was never able to prove it, but what if it was analog? It was something that was verbally said or given where there's no proof of any kind, and Richard Allen somehow knew the girls are going to be there that weekend. Perhaps somebody let him know. I don't know. So that's the craziness. That's one of the crazy parts of the story. Keegan Kline was the only story for about 2 years. Everybody was like, oh, wow, what's the connection? There was a lot of crazy stuff going on. It could be that he was lying the entire time, etc., and it was just random. They came up with Richard Allen. I do not know. So what do you guys think of that? Pretty wild, isn't it? Pretty wild. Yeah, we already said he bought beer, yeah. Okay, he bought beer and he accidentally heard them talk. Okay, come on. Jeez. That's just, he goes somewhere to buy beer and he overhears them talking on the phone, and somehow one of the girls looks just like his kid. I mean, jeez. I don't know. Right. But, serial killers do, like, he doesn't have to be a serial killer, but that mentality, they do just sit around and hunt, So originally the theory was that there was a guy at the bridge near the area and he was just sitting on the benches like he said he was, and he was waiting for victims and would watch and follow and was completely aware of where everybody was at all times, and he knew that when the girls were crossing that there was nobody in front of him on the other side and that there was nobody behind him, and that's when he made his move. And no matter how you look at it, Richard Allen got lucky of the timing. I mean, there could have been people on the other side of the bridge and he wouldn't have been able to do it. There could have been people just standing right there. He wouldn't have been able to do it. He got lucky as hell that there was nobody there at that time. You can't plan that kind of thing. It was just an opportunistic. It's opportunistic as well. You get what I'm saying? He gets there and somehow there just happens to not be Cheyenne and her friends there. They got there 45 minutes later. They could have been there, and then he wouldn't have been able to do it. So it's just sort of very, unfortunate for the girls, but fortunate for the killer from the killer's perspective, But anyways, I guess that's going to do it. But if you guys aren't a channel member, you should consider becoming a channel member. It'd be cool to have more. I'm sure he's done it before. What are the chances? I don't know. It could have been his first as well. Just waiting all of his life. I think one of the Zozo mentioned that he got engaged 2 months. She got engaged, his daughter, 2 months before the homicides. Was that a stressor? His daughter's leaving the house? Something like that. I mean, Libby and his daughter had some similarities. There's a picture of Richard Allen's daughter lying on a bed wearing one of the Libby and Abby tie-dye memorial shirts. That's a little weird, right? There's also a picture of his daughter on the bridge just laying there. That's a little weird. Richard Allen checked every box that law enforcement was looking for. A person that was familiar with the area. They wanted to know who the driver of the vehicle that was parked at the abandoned CPS building. They wanted to know who Bridge Guy was. They wanted, it's just bang, bang, bang. They wanted to know who owned the bullet that was at the crime scene. He fit every single one of them. And guess what, everybody? He confessed. See, it's weird that there's channels out there. There's all these lawyer YouTubers who are clueless about the case, but everybody's trusting them because, my God, they're lawyers and they're going over it. They don't know anything. They don't know how to synthesize it, how to put it together, what it means, but they want you to believe it. And Richard Allen is Bridge Guy. He is the killer. Whether or not the entire jury will agree, I don't know. I think there's zero chance that Richard Allen will walk. I think there's a 50-50 chance that it'll be a hung jury because there's a lot of really stupid people in the world, and that's just what they would come up with. If it turns out that they find him not guilty, there's just been a grave injustice. That's all you can say, because Richard Allen is the Bridge Guy. He's confessed. He is the one. And the defense is going to do all they can to try to discredit everything, but hopefully people don't buy it. Okay, it's going to be a lot of mumbo jumbo. Yeah, they're all defense attorneys. It's amazing how people just believe in it. I think defense attorneys in general lie more than anybody in the legal industry. They have to. That's what they do. Their job is to lie and see if the prosecution can disprove the lie that they just told you. It's wild, I mean, everybody wants Jose Baez to be their attorney if he got in trouble. But, the stuff he was doing was complete bullshit, right? I mean, but it worked. It worked for his client. It was complete crap. I'm afraid they will get a... what do you mean not? Yeah, I mean, I think there's a 50-50 chance they won't get a guilty, but it'll be a hung jury. Because there'll be one stupid person sitting there. How do you know, Gray? They got to see... Listen, we all know what the hell. We got the recaps. We see it. We hear it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of conspiratorial people in the world who believe in that. Their idea of reasonable is something absurd to the rest of us. And that's just what I believe. All right? Thank you. Yeah, maybe 80-20 guilty. I think there's almost no chance that he'll be found not guilty. That's insane, ridiculous. Especially when he's confessed, and he did it in a way that was really calm. So I wonder if that's what they're talking about, that phone call right there. And it's not one that was recorded like on a line when he was talking to his... I don't know, maybe there is something like that. Well, we don't know if he did that, Deborah. We don't know if Keegan Kline led them. It's a theory that I have. That's it. I mean, there's no, like I said, law enforcement said they were unable to connect Richard Allen and Keegan Kline, but you know that they tried. In fact, even in those interrogations from yesterday, if you knew that, you would be aware that that's kind of how their language sounded, that they thought maybe he led them to somebody. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so those of you, is there anybody here that watched what I was just showing you guys and were like, oh wow, and you feel stronger about the case now? Can you put a 1 in there? Let me know. You don't have to say 2 if it didn't, but I just want to know anybody that was like, yeah, wow, that's crazy. When you watch the timing of it, it can't be anybody other than Richard Allen right there. Well, I told you not to type in Kelton. You're one of the people that probably thinks he's absolutely innocent. So look at that. See, there you go. There's some people that watched and went, there you go. I see it now. Because it's hard to visualize the timing, right? When you hear the Betsy Blair story and all that kind of stuff and the girls, that's why the visual representation of the timeline. And see, look in there, you guys. See, freaks? That's why I repeat this over and over. Because now you see these people that get it now, when it was difficult prior, right? This animation here is the probable cause in visual form, and it shows you how, and that's why I offered to the prosecution to do it for free, to make this for them, and never got a response. And I think this animation here solidifies it in the mind of the jury, and you got to talk about it. And I would use it in closing argument. And I'd be talking about, look, this is how it looks. This is how it went. How can that not be any... And just go through the whole thing. And by the time it's over, boom. Well, I actually know them, Kelton. I communicate with them sometimes. So, sorry for your confusion. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of that Kelton person. You look like a troll. I know he's guilty from day one. Well, good for you. You wouldn't have known it, though. You have to prove it. See, that's the thing. Is I knew after I went through the probable cause and mapped it all out. That's when we got it all. We all got it all good. Okay. See you later, Kelton. Well, thank you, Tammers. Which one? The one on the bridge? The 3D one? Yeah, I mean, I have a video out there that you guys should all go watch. You know, it's I made a video. It's probably 2 videos ago. One of the videos, so it's called. I'm not going to play it on here, but it's called. That's 3 videos ago, called "Terrifying Delphi Bridge Guy Video." So you can actually see the entire bridge as the girls are crossing, and then I make an animation during the 2 photographs that were taken, and then how it kind of went at the end of the bridge with the killer coming up from behind them. But it's called Terrifying Delphi. It's right here. I'll show you. So this is what you get to see in the video. I'll put it on the
I can't believe I haven't seen it. Pensé que solo vería uno y terminé
I guess you have to watch an ad, though.
I watched it all at once.
Alright, so this is the video, but look at, like, at different points I have stuff like this, you know. Just like that. This is just how it was, just like this. Guys. All right, thank you. There you go. So you guys can go watch the whole thing if you want. You'll get a full feel of the walk across the bridge. Everything. You'll absolutely get it at that point. All right. So anyways, I thank you all for being here, watching this earlier show. Absolutely amazing news. Yet again, verifying information we had a while ago. Thanks for Fig Sauls for the information months back. And thank you all for being here. I also want to thank, let's see. Hold on. Thank you to Poppy, Sybil Bergeron. And tonight we'll do a show. We'll do a call-in. All right? And Nathan, you can call in for a couple minutes, okay? Now, you don't take up the whole show. You just call in for a couple minutes. Sybil Bergeron, Spring 20, CR, Tammy, Spring 20 gifted 5, then H. Doc gifted 1, then KK became a member, a different KK. We have a moderator named KK. And then Coco, wow, Coco Banks. Man, if you had said Coco Cabana, I would have blocked you. Because believe it or not, everybody, Coco Cabana is the worst song ever written. In fact, if you believe Coco Cabana is a really good song, you have a mental deficiency, all right? All right, so Coco Banks, CR, Kremzik 655, Cheyenne R, Hillbilly Belinda, Muddy Paws, then Campbelltown, you work hard, I also don't want to get yelled at. Alley Cat, I'm not much but thanks. Not much or thanks, do you know? And then Hillbilly Belinda, Diane LS, Great Dane Mom, Campbelltown, Great Dane Mom, Green Eyed PI, Melanie gifted a membership, Berlani, then we have Campbelltown, then Paul Ayers, Seb 3835, never really sure how to say that one, probably Seeb, right? Or Southeast something. Circa then Mag, Danny ICURN, K-Me, Cheryl Bullock, Danny ICURN, then David Arnold, a new member, Kimberly Faith, a new member, David Arnold, then Sonia, then Whiskey Boots, 11 months. Thank you. Oh, and then Aura Phoenix became a member at the end. Yeah, Coco Cabana, you know the song. Whatever the hell it is, Copa, whatever the hell. I don't even care what the name of the song is by Barry Manilow. I purposely don't care what the name of the song is, you know. It's the worst song ever written. There isn't even one note. If you were on that show, name that tune, and they said, I mean, you wouldn't, nobody should ever know what the note was, okay? It is absolutely... Gray, I love that song, you bastard. It was one of the greatest songs I ever listened to. I'm never watching you again. God, what a ridiculously bad song. You're an embarrassment, Chris. Wow. Great song, man. I have to disagree. Jesus. You'd almost have to put yourself in a mental facility to believe that that was a good song. Now, I'll give him a pass on Mandy. You know, it's a catchy little tune, but Copacabana? Are you freaking kidding me? Tell me what part of that song even has something resembling something you might kind of snap your fingers to or something. My God. It's worse than Ooh La. Yeah, it's worse than this song. Listen to that. It's worse than this one. Now, it's the now, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right? Come on, you guys. Jesus. How in the hell did... You know what? How did that even make it onto the radio? You know? And then get through the rating part where they go, wow, this song is doing really well. I think that's when the downfall of mankind started. When the ratings of that song made it last to the next day. You get what I'm saying? It's unreal, you guys. It's absolutely unreal. Wow. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys on this evening's show. Her name was Lola. Oh, come on. There's no way you can love that song, Charlotte Denny. Oh, my God. That is insane, man. Her name was Lola. Oh, shit. Okay. But anyways, thank you very much. I'm just, I think it's the worst song ever made. I'm just goofing around, but you know how it goes. You don't really have a mental disorder if you like the song. I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. Okay, anyways, we'll see you later this evening. Definitely going to go check out Lauren's recap. Obviously, she takes notes as if you're there. And then after that, we always jump back over here and go through it all yet again with putting the pieces together with the information that's already known. And I think the map is really important in this case. Makes a difference. Yeah, man. I'm going to go, you know what I'm going to do, you guys? I'm going to go re-listen to that song a little bit later just to see if I had it right. Not a chance. All right. See you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
I love Coco Papana.
This true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that
I love Coco Papana.
Crime dissector.
Why are you saying Coco Cabana? What are you saying? Coco Cabana? What?
Gonna get ya.
Coco Cabana.
If you try and play me like an old projector.
What the hell are you saying?
Is my nectar. Professor Gray
Coco Cabana.
another lecture.
Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a papa protector. Interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector.
On his pector with
All respect, y'all, just remember,
I have a temper fucking checker.
I have no agenda,
I'm no pretender.
and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender.
And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to
Go
reveal
Lori, go Lori. Hey, that's Lori. That's Lori Daybell, isn't it, Gray?
Yes, it was Lori Daybell. We actually made an animation of Lori Daybell about 4 years ago, and we have her dancing in the background to the rap song.
Well, that's really cool. Now, tell me about Coco Cabana.
Why do you go Cabana like that?
Because I don't know what the name of the song is, Greg.
Sing it to me. Sing it to me.
I don't know it, Greg. I'm gonna go now. Bye.
Well, that's one good thing about Mary Lou. She doesn't know the song. All right, I give her that. All right, you guys, we'll see you later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.